Yes, yes. And we are live for another week and another episode of the Bright Girls in Business podcast.
Yay.
Yes, and y'all know I always say I'm excited, but I really am excited like every week that I get a chance to talk to these women because it just gives me so much life. And we are live. Do this. Hold on. For another week and another episode of the Bright Girls in Business podcast. There we go. I'll be having to mute my
Mute yourself over there.
Mute myself so we ain't double talking. So anyway, I am always excited every week that I get a chance to talk to another woman entrepreneur because my goal is always to give us some light and some shine and to encourage other women entrepreneurs to come out of the shadows and into the light. And my guest today, Miss Tabitha D. James, is one of those people that share that same energy as me. And so today we are going to be talking about unleashing the power within. And I want to read her bio because, y'all, Tabitha, we just talked about this. She stands 4'11" in height.
So funny.
But she stands about 6 feet tall in power. And so I need y'all to understand who we're talking to today because the girl is bad, all right? So she is an award-winning millennial business strategist, 5-time author, and global speaker. Okay, she ain't just here in the US. She's been speaking globally, and she's helped numerous businesses, entrepreneurs, and nonprofits unleash their greatness. She is a native of the backwoods of Lakeview, South Carolina. Now tell me, where is Lakeview, South Carolina?
So if anyone listening is familiar with South Carolina, you may have heard of Myrtle Beach, right? Yeah. Or Columbia or Greenville. So we're about an hour from Myrtle Beach, 2 hours from Columbia, 3 to 4 hours from Greenville. So if you are on I-95 and you've ever seen the south of the border advertisement, it's all up and down 95 South. We are about 13 miles from that landmark.
So how far are you from Florence?
Like 45 minutes.
Okay, I've been to Florence before.
Okay.
Look, that's where I've been before. So I've been somewhere near where you from.
Yeah, just follow the trees. Because it's the backwoods. It's the backwoods for real.
I love it. But let me tell you something. The backwoods ain't kept you from having your light shine though. Being out there, sometimes people bring big city energy. I never would have thought that you was from, the backwoods of anywhere, because you, like I said, you bring big energy. So let me continue to tell you who we're talking about, people. I have to laugh because I'm just, how we do when we get together. So Tabitha's commitment to showing others that they too can be successful in their corner of the earth stems from her personal journey towards success. Since her youth, she has created her own definition for success, beginning her working career at the age of 17 and earning 2 degrees before the age of 25 from Coastal Carolina University and Florida Atlantic University. So let me tell y'all, I'm gonna go off script now.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna tell you why I wanted to bring Tabitha here. So, and I handpick all my guests. I have to vibe with people if I'm gonna sit and talk to them for 45 minutes about anything, right? And so Tabitha and I met late last year in a coaching program that we're a part of. Shout out to Felicia Kelly.
Yes.
Shout out to Felicia. She began our lives together.
Yes.
And as soon as we got on these coaching calls, I kept saying, who is this girl? Like, what is up with her? Because you just, and I don't think I've ever told you this, but you just stood out from everybody. Like, I know everybody else in the program and everybody is bomb. Like, no shade to nobody. But it was something about you that kept making me say, man, I need to connect with this girl. I need to connect with her. Aww. And I don't remember what happened. I think you might have had on a shirt one day that said AKA on it or something. And I tapped in the chat like, are you? And she like, yeah. And I'm like, see, I knew that. Look, only an alpha woman. To be giving all this energy. And so just since the beginning of me meeting you and learning more about your story, I've been impressed. And so I just I'm just glad that you're here, Tabitha.
Oh, I'm honored. I'm super excited, sis. Yeah, I think I had on a shirt or a cup or something that day. You was like, okay. I'm like, yes, sis. And we hit it off ever since then. Our first conversation was lit. We just been connected ever since. So I'm super excited about today's conversation.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So let's get into it. So the reason that I titled this Unleashing the Power Within is because I read something on your site. And it really stood out to me because what it says is unleash, to cause a strong force to be released or become unrestrained. And I'm gonna say that one more time, just so everybody can get it in their spirit. Like I got it in my spirit when I read it, because when I read it, I was like, "Ooh." It says to cause a strong force to be released or become unrestrained.
Yeah.
And I feel like in this season that we're in, and the space that we take up as Black women entrepreneurs, it really is our time to be unleashed.
Yeah.
And I feel like so many of the things that we see around us in the news, and I mean, just think about the Olympics. We don't watch Simone. We don't watch how they tried to tear down Naomi. We don't watch how they tried to tear down Sha'Carri. Like, I feel like it's our season to be unleashed, and all the gates of hell is trying to come up against us to push us back into a corner. So tell me, for you and your own personal story, how do you feel, or what did you really have to overcome personally in order to unleash all that 4'11" energy into a six foot person?
Yes. Oh my goodness. So I was not this confident in the person that I am. So I think that the energy, the power, the extraness, it was there, but I was so ashamed of it that I wanted to suppress it. I didn't want, like, how can I not be so, energetic? How can I not take up space? And like, why was I trying to do that? I don't know. It just wasn't normal, if you will. So I was like, I want to be more like everybody else. I want to not be as vocal, if you will, because of course we grow and we develop over time. But something that has been a common theme in my life is being ambitious and being dedicated to my dreams and my goals and the things I want to achieve, and then vocalizing that in hopes that it can, inspire someone else to be like, you know what, maybe I can do it too, because I did grow up in such a small area. And a lot of the people did not travel outside of the area. A lot of the people were not directly connected to people who traveled outside of the area. And that was my, I guess, competitive advantage, if you will, throughout school, was that I was directly connected to family members who had left here. I was directly connected to opportunities to travel, attend conferences, do things that let me know that, oh, there's more than these dirt roads in small towns once I, finish school and just get out of here. But I was just ashamed. So I started to lessen that voice throughout, college, grad school, my early career. I was trying to become somebody else. I don't know who the person was. There's not like a model of who that person was. I just was not trying to be me. And something over time clicked, because nothing was working. Like, I wasn't enjoying jobs. I wasn't enjoying the clients I was getting in my business once I started a business on the side. Like, I just wasn't enjoying it. And I'm like, what is wrong? It was me. It was me. And so I had to learn to embrace who I am in the world, and be okay with taking up space. Because what I also realized was that, not to get super deep, is that we owe it to the ancestors, right? They set it up for us to have amazing opportunities. But there were times, and I was just listening to an interview with Oprah and Jennifer Hudson. She was talking about, becoming in this role for respect, and how she had to fit, they took up space with their looks and their body.
Yeah.
Because they could not always vocalize it. Whereas in our day and time, it's like, what you're not about to do is this, right? Well, we gonna take up space, we gonna vocalize. And I think that that's important because Black women were silenced for so long, right? Women in general were silenced, but Black women were silenced for so long. And in a lot of spaces, we're still silenced. And so when I started to think about that, I'm like, yo, I can't be quiet. I just gotta be me. And if a space is not ready for me, it's not a space for me. And that was just that. On that.
I love that. I love that energy because my grandmother is huge with me. My grandmother is my motivator. I feel like she is always with me. She has been with the ancestors since 95. So I was like 12, about to be 13 years old. And she left me at a very pivotal point in my life, but I feel like she had to transition to get on the other side to like pull me into where I am now. And so I'm always motivated by her. I keep her picture by me, right here by my couch. It's over here. And it's funny because my mom always tells me that every time she sees me like dress up or wear heels or whatever, she's like, "Ooh, you look like my mama." Like I'm looking at my mama. And I do this for her because just what you said. I know the opportunities that were stolen from her. I know how she had to flee Mississippi in the 40s. I know how hard she worked and everything that she did. And so now it's like, listen, I know somebody that had to deal with this.
I don't.
And they could not speak up. They could not, be their full selves. I can only imagine what my grandmother could have been because she was just a powerhouse within herself. Yeah. So no, I'm with you. I'm with you. It's like time out for this. And I love how we're showing up now, especially, and that's what we're experiencing and what we're seeing on social media and in the news and everything. Every reaction has a counter reaction. Okay. So as we rise up and as we unleash, people that aren't used to seeing us show up like this, they losing it. So that's why you got a woman that's flip-flopping around on the floor in Victoria's Secret. She had a nervous breakdown because she has never experienced, she had never experienced this. So to her, it's like, oh, this is foreign. Let me fall out and act a fool. Right. So yeah. So now you're much younger than me. I already told y'all. Look, I kind of told y'all how old I am just a minute ago. And when I talk to you, and I think even about my journey, people younger than me are really starting to impress me nowadays. I'm gonna say that because I'm a millennial, but I'm just a millennial. Like I barely made millennial. And in some circles they would say I was, what is it? Exennial or whatever. Like I'm on the borderline. So I ain't really, I ain't that young. I ain't that old either. So what I'm seeing though is a lot of younger women showing up like with a bang. And so my question to you is, where is this power coming from? Where is this energy coming from? Because I'm like, they told me go to school, get good grades, graduate and get a job. But y'all coming out like, bump this. We ain't doing that. So where would you say you get your inspiration from?
I think it's y'all. Like, I think it's all the generations before us. It's been a buildup, right? I think that as a millennial, and I'm real interested. So I am deep. I'm dead in the middle of millennials, right? But I'm right at that cusp of, I do remember having to look up I can't remember what the code was called, but when the books had the codes on them in the library before you just went and typed it in. Like I'm right, like I had to learn that, I'm right on that kind of cusp of before technology really boomed up, but it has been in my life since I was around third or fourth grade, right? And we had that access to see that there was options, right? And we also got to take a front seat at seeing people go to school, get jobs, still kind of be underpaid, maybe, right? Still be mistreated, and then still get that whole thing of like work for like a million years and then retire and then enjoy life. And I think we was like, there got to be another formula. Like there has to be some way that you can enjoy life while you're still young. Like there has to be some sort of formula. And I call out my generation a lot of times because I feel like when you meet us, there's either like the ones that are super ambitious and getting it, and then there's the ones who like are really chained to like mom and dad and not really focused on, because a lot of their parents were so adamant about giving them what they didn't have that they created some crutches, right? So there's like two extremes, and then there are some that are in the middle. No shade, right? But there's two extremities to it as it relates to millennials, in my opinion. And what I even see in Gen Z, they like, nah, how do I figure out how to hack all the codes so I can learn how to make the money while I'm still young from these apps and different things? And I'm like, that is so brilliant. I think that it will help, with the tremendous amount of like student loan debt, because everybody ain't meant to go to college. Mm-hmm. I was meant to go because I'm a scholar, and there was no other path that would have worked for me personally. But I'm like, if some of the people I know would have been empowered to like hit up trade school or go get a certification or go do something that could allow them to create, high five figures, low six figures in like 2 or 3 years post high school, like that access to information is what's really changing the game. And it's women and men, people that are our elders per se, that don't mind sharing the hard stories, right? People love to talk about the success and this happened and I made it, but can you talk about some of the things that I can maybe skip, because you do have to learn your own lessons, but you don't have to learn all of them the hard way. You can learn some lessons from other people's journey. And so for people being transparent about, really dive into your major, really look at what career paths you can take after college so that you can maybe be more prepared as you step into that collegiate realm, so you possibly do not end up overly educated and underemployed. So I think that access to information has helped us. And then us seeing other generations where it just didn't work out, right? 40 years ago, if you were a Black woman, you went to college, you could get a job and be fine. Then around 20 years, that started changing. And then now it's like, oh, you got a degree, and so does all these other people. What else do you have to bring to the table? So I think it's just that access to information that has really helped us to be like, I'm about to get it. I'm about to get it.
I love it. And Christina Danielle is watching with us, and she says this is true. So hey girl, hey. And if you're watching and you're on YouTube with us live, go ahead, let us know who you are in the comments. We want to talk to you too.
Yes, we do.
Like I said, I love it because, and it's funny to me because older people, they have these preconceived ideas of who millennials are, mm-hmm. and how we should do certain things or whatever the case, based upon their experience. And I saw something the other day, and it was like, if you think that everybody should struggle because you struggled, something is really wrong with you. Like something is off. If you feel like your kids should have to go through the same experiences that you went through to get to the next level, like you're supposed to be a ladder up. You're supposed to, send the elevator back down and pull us back up. And I've noticed, like you said, a lot of people, it is a polarity. It's either the really lazy people, let's be honest, the people that won participation trophies, and thought they was winners, or it's the people that actually, got out here and made something happen, saw the opportunity, and used everything that they had to capitalize off of that. And I think the latter, or the former rather, they get the attention, and that's where the bad name for millennials comes from, is paying so much attention to those people. But I said, I'm so impressed. I see people that are younger than me. My sister is 9 years younger than me. So we didn't grow up together. You know what I'm saying? Like I was in college and she was still in like 3rd or 4th grade.
Right.
So watching people in her age bracket, I'm like, man, y'all, like what? Like what I need to do to be down with y'all, because y'all over here doing it. Like y'all ain't playing no games. And it's a level of confidence that I feel like you all have been equipped with. And maybe it is from y'all getting these participation trophies or something. Maybe y'all just feel like y'all winners and y'all can't lose. And y'all just
yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. That's where that like polarity part of it like kind of comes into play, because for some people, you know, it's really good, right? It does boost confidence. It does make it feel like, shoot, I'm going, you know, I got this. But then for others, it increases mediocrity, because you were on the soccer team, you never did anything, but you got a trophy. I'm on the soccer team killing it. I got the same trophy you got. I may have got another one for being whatever, but it's like it creates this like I'm supposed to get something. That's a whole situation that like that's where it gets a little sticky. But then when you think about it, it's one of those things that we've seen in previous generations too, right? Like we've seen people, there are lazy people in every aspect of
absolutely
life, right? And so I think that another thing that certain generations may not understand is like when you learn how to work smarter, not harder, you should do it.
Exactly.
And so I hate when people try to downplay, what it is that I do, because I'm sitting in front of a computer, all that. I'm like, well, there ain't even enough research out to tell you how this may impact me when I'm older. But just because I'm not out in a field does not mean I'm not tired at the end of the day.
Yes.
Just because I'm not slaving does not, for hours for someone else. If anything, I am working harder, because if the work does not get done, especially as a millennial business owner, the work does not get done, there's no coins, right? Yeah. Or, I'm creating my own PTO. I'm creating my own retirement. I have to figure out how to pay my own health insurance. And so if anything, it's a little bit harder, because we can all be honest that when we're on someone else's job, there's a level of slack that we have that we can slack off for. We got a good 6 to 12 months before anybody calls us out.
Notices. That's right. I tell people all the time, I could go and get a job tomorrow and it'd be the easiest thing that I've ever done. Because I know how to coast on the job. I know how to, like, when I used to work, and I know ain't none of my old coworkers watching me anyway, so I don't care. I'm about to tell it. I'm gonna tell you how my day used to be when I used to work. I used to go in early. At all my jobs, I was the first person there. I like to turn the lights on, and I like to set the mood the way I like it to be. So I don't want to come into your atmosphere. You coming into mine. So that's always there. So I was always going to be there about 30 minutes before everybody else. And I was always going to start the day when everybody else did, because by the time they got there, I done already made my little oatmeal for breakfast and everything. I done set my day up. They trickling in and they talking. I'm already working. I'm already into my day. So by the time lunchtime, I literally will be done with my day, because I'm just that person. I'm very efficient. I'm an overachiever. Like you said, I'm a scholar. I'm that person that's like always on. And that's just been me even in the workplace. So people would come to my desk in the afternoon and they be like, what you doing? And I'm like in my head thinking I should be at home because I'm not doing nothing. And so it would take, look, afternoon time, I'm sitting there. I used to go take naps. I used to find me a room and go take a whole nap. Like, I'm talking about lights out, laid out, sleep. One of my jobs actually had a nap room. Baby,
they messed up with that.
They messed up with that one, because about 1 o'clock, I'm about to go take this nap. So even now as I'm a business owner, they're like, you take naps? I'm like, just about every day. Because I've been taking naps. Look, I was taking naps when I worked. I used to if I couldn't go to a room, I'd be in my car, windows rolled up, have a little crack, and my seat be back. Because I done already did my work. And you're right. They don't know what you're doing, because, it's going to keep going with or without you.
With or without you. And I think that as, when you have that entrepreneurial spirit, you have that scholar spirit, you have that overachiever spirit, your 50 is someone else's 110. So you can come at it half speed.
Yes.
And you've impressed, you're above average. And so I think that that's another like myth that some other generations try to place on us, like just because it didn't take me 8 hours to do, especially when I was in the workplace, right? I'm like, what y'all have to understand is you had to learn these systems. I was born into these, like, I'm going to come in here and run circles around you on the computer. So I probably am going to be done before you. And yes, I'm chilling. And me working on my business, or like me, whatever I'm doing, I tried not to work on my business much when I was at a job, but it's a thin line, because as long as I'm not in a conflict of interest, I would always get upset because I'm like, you on Amazon, you on Facebook, we just using our time differently. You checking out your kids, whatever schedule. I don't have children. And stop thinking I can stay over because I don't have children. No, I can't. I'm leaving at the same time you are.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. So tell me this, what pushed you into entrepreneurship? I always ask my guests this because everybody has their own story. And I really like to hear what made you break away from the whole corporate thing and do what you do.
So first answer was I was bored. So I finished grad school. I was like 22, and I was so used to just like doing the most, like always having a lot going on, from class, organizations, to working, to this, and that. So I got into my job and I'm like, oh, they're gonna pay me this much just to do this? Oh, cool. But I need something else to do with my time. I was in a new area, so I didn't have a lot of, friends or anything. And so I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll start a little business. Didn't really know what I was going to do, but I was getting a lot of questions about, how to build a website, how to start a following, how to do those types of things, because I did have a blog and I was doing speaking gigs here and there, nothing really formal. And so I was like, maybe that's my niche, right? I didn't know the word niche back then, but like maybe that's my niche. And so I started doing some like kind of high level consulting with people who aspired to have businesses or side hustles, and helping them with like, how do you brand? And for context, this was around 2015, 2016. So getting your feet wet in the Instagram and Facebook world was a lot different than it is now. It was a lot easier at that time also. And so helping people to build that out, helping people to really be able to leverage their network. Because once I did, fast forward a little bit and then I'll go back. Once I did leave my job, I filled my speaking calendar the first 2 years with personal network alone, just network from years of doing events and traveling and being a sorority girl and like just all types of things. And I wasn't afraid to ask, like, hey, can you put me on, or do you know somebody who can? Like, I was not afraid because I knew I had to eat. And so I was going on the side, doing well. My mom was a little ill and I was like, okay, I can't travel, I can't work and run this business. Like, it's not all going to work out. I could probably get another job because the resume is tight. So let me just, pack my stuff and move, leave my job. I went on vacation, put in my resignation letter, and that was that. Because another thing I knew is moving to the backwoods, there was not going to be anywhere that I could work that would pay me what I was used to making without me having to have like a 2-hour commute or something like that. And that just did not sound like it for me. I'm working on it, y'all, but being on time it's not my thing. And so I was like, if I got to commute any more than 30 minutes, I'm already late. So I knew that wasn't going to work out. So I was like, okay, I think I can really build this thing out. And that's what happened. So I was building out my business. I was taking clients to help them with their social media and web. I was not an expert in it, but I knew a lot more than a beginner. And going way back, I have been doing branding, if you will. I did the flyers for my aunt's catering company when I was in like 3rd grade. So this has been a long time coming on that end. And then speaking. So getting into like virtual speaking, because that was a lesser cost for certain organizations if I could speak to them virtually. So this was pre-COVID, y'all. I was getting prepared for what I didn't know was coming. So I started offering like those virtual trainings. And when business was slow, I committed to learning because I studied management, I studied leadership. So of course I got a little bit of marketing expertise in that. That wasn't my whole background. So I committed to listening to the YouTube videos. I committed to listening to podcasts while I was washing dishes. I committed to the process so that I could be better for my clients and I could keep raising my prices. So I came into entrepreneurship as a result of, I'm like, I gotta move, I'm leaving my job. And it was the best thing I ever did. I've had so many ups and downs, but I'm really not hireable. There have been some times I've gone back to work over since 2016. I'm like, ooh, this is not for me.
Baby.
Because I enjoy my freedom. I enjoy making my own schedule. I enjoy time. The efficiency piece that you talked about earlier, like why do I, and I hope that companies, and I've been reading a lot, I think companies are, or a lot of the progressive companies are seeing how productive people can be working at home. That would have been an amazing setup for me, because I'm like, I could do this at my house. Like, it's really no reason for me to get up, get dressed, do makeup, commute, pack lunch, to come in here and sit here, which like, people literally waste so much time at work. They're talking, they're like chit-chatting at lunch at the coffee machine with each other. They're on Amazon, they're in the messenger, and then they do an hour of work and they're like, oh, where did the time go? Like, what? So long story short, I knew I wanted to get into entrepreneurship later in my life. Like, I just turned 30 recently, yay. And I thought that maybe around this time I'd be stepping my feet into it, but God had the plan and I'm not mad at it. So here we are.
Love it. You dropped so many gems as you were talking. I'm like, boom, boom, boom. So the time management piece is what I want to lean into. It's because man, listen, if you can manage your time, then you already are a shoe-in for entrepreneurship. But I feel like so many times people, they have these ideas or these visions or passion or whatever, and they're like, oh, I could do this, or they might see somebody else doing it. A lot of times that's what happens. They see somebody else doing it and they think they could do it.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let me drop something on y'all that's watching. If that ain't your gift and you ain't really called to that, don't think that because Tabitha can do this, or I can do this, or anybody else can do this, that you can too, because this stuff, we may make it look easy, but we don't be telling y'all all the time about the times we be balled up in the corner pulling our hair out, okay? We just don't. So that's number one. But a lot of times I notice that people are jumping, into entrepreneurship, and as I ask this question, I want to go where I want to talk about why I feel like Black women are doing this a lot. But they don't understand what we just talked about, the time and self-management. That's really what it is. It ain't time. You ain't managing time. Time gonna keep going regardless. You managing yourself. And I get so many people coming to me. They're like, "How do you do this? I don't know what to do next. I feel like I'm lost." And it's because you're used to somebody telling you what to do. You're used to being on somebody else's calendar, somebody else's schedule, and getting their tasks together and all of that stuff. So my point in saying all that is to ask you, how did you transition? Like, what was the mindset for you to transition from working for somebody as a high achiever to being able to do this on your own and sustain it and like build it and grow? I mean, girl, listen, like I said, you impressed me. So I already know you.
It's time management and self-discipline. Like, when I first stepped into entrepreneurship, like, I did not have as good of time management as I thought. Well, never mind. I did, but I allowed people to make it seem like, since I did not work 9 to 5, I had more time than them. And I allowed, I see your face. I allowed things to get on my calendar that really had no business being there, because though I may not go clock in like you, baby, I'm clocked in all the time. And especially in those building years, you gotta, if I know y'all see on the internet 4-hour weeks and things like that, and vacationing and working from the beach, you got to put in some grunt work to get there, right? Like, it took me, I started my business in 2016. So you doggone right, for my 30th birthday, I took off 31 days because I have worked for that, right? I put in some time and some sweat equity and a lot of thousands of dollars to be able to be this entrepreneur that I am today. And I think people do not realize that it is the management and discipline that's really the game changer, because you can get every planner that's available on Amazon. You can download every productivity app, but if you cannot manage the human you, it's not going to work out. If you're not going to do your due diligence of figuring out what should you invest in and what is just shiny object syndrome that you do not need right now. Like, all the software in the world. Some of y'all won't even send an email from your Gmail, but you keep asking me which email provider you need. You need to use the one that you have. The one that you have for free.
Oh, when you said that, that just took me back because I get so many people that ask me questions, and I'd be like, "You couldn't
want to learn. You want to learn all of these advanced things. You're not using the tools that you do have. And I know, like we can speak to this for ever. I'm gonna cut off and let you go to the next question. But we both have recently received some funding, but you have to put in the work and your own coins and your own due diligence to be able to even position yourself for someone else to want to invest in you.
Yes.
Like people be like, oh, I want to start a business, but like, where can I find, money? How much money have you put in? Well, none, because I ain't got none. So you want someone to give money to someone who doesn't have any in hopes that they're actually going to do what they said. Okay, y'all play too much.
Let me tell you, I get that all the time. So when I posted my grant, I got a couple people just called me. I mean, I'm talking about people I ain't talked to. I like don't have a number in my phone. Like looked at the phone, saw the number, and was like, "Is this a telemarketer?" Those type of people called me talking about something. I need to get some money. Like you got it, ma'am. I've been doing this since 2012.
Ooh.
And I applied for every bit of PPP, EIDL, every whatever, this grant, that grant, and I ain't getting none of it. And I looked up and I saw people that just decided yesterday they wanted to have an LLC walking away with $20,000. So ask them, because maybe they know how to get the money, because
they know something I don't know.
I don't know. They know something I don't know.
They the plug.
So yeah, they look. So, and thank you to we got some people in the comments. Y'all, let me tell you what, these comments is lit, honey. I got to have you come back because
the comments for me.
We got some friends today. Yes, friends. They're telling us congratulations and thank you to y'all. Congratulations. I appreciate that. Yes, so as we talk about unleashing the power within, I want to talk about, we talked about corporate and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. That's great. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, wait, time out before I go there. Somebody said scammers. Yes. Look, yes. One of my friends was calling it the scamdemic. I said, you ain't lying, honey, because they out here. So anyway, back on topic. Unleashing the power within. We, as Black women, and y'all know that's my audience, that's who I cater to, that's who I love, that's who I am, whatever. You don't like it, I still love you. We get out here and we effortlessly build for other people. Always have. Okay. I mean, I'm talking down to like nursing your babies.
Come on. Go back. Right. Come on.
And for whatever reason, when it's time to launch into a business, because I get a lot of people that come to me, you know, on the low, secretly trying to pick my brain. They love to pick your brain. Want to ask questions and stuff. It's a lot of fear around standing on what you know, standing in your power, unleashing the power that is within. Mm-hmm. And just going for it. So what is your advice? Because I know you a public speaker, you a coach, you help other people, all that other good stuff. How do you pull? Because I ain't gonna say push, because we don't push people to do nothing. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. But how do you pull that potential and that power out of other people to encourage them to do what they're called to do?
Ooh, I got two answers. Okay. And one of them is newer. The other one is a little older. So I'm gonna speak to the one that I know is that encouragement piece, right? and just being so authentic and organically sharing the ups, the downs. Like, yes, sis, I want to pull you to your purpose and encourage you, but I also want to let you know it is hard. It's not going to be easy, but you have support not only in me, but there is a stereotype that we have as Black women or as Black people, that we're crabs in a bucket. We don't want people to win. We don't want to share. We don't want to that. So debunking some of those myths, that there are people that want to help you. And there is a ton of information that you can get for no cost. But just like you was not afraid to get 5 figures worth of student loan debt to get a degree, you're going to have to open that purse to get some help to help you unlock that purpose. Because you can leash all you want, but if you don't know what you're doing once you step out on people's job, you're going to go back. And it's not because you need more money for the business. It's not because you got to go back temporarily. You're going back because you need that control. You need someone to tell you what to do, and you need that consistent check because you haven't figured out how to make it yourself. And you was also mad at me because you came to me and I said, oh, sis, $1,500 for coaching. Why she charging that? Because sis, I went and got the same degrees you got, and then I went and got experience, and then I went and paid for coaching. And so I'm trying to help you skip some steps. Now, if you want to spend 5 or 6 years figuring it out and working and doing all that, it's possible. It's a lot of books back here. You can read them. You can get there. But if you want to skip the line, sis, let me help you with how you can do that. So making Black women feel comfortable, and then making, like, just heightening that confidence, right? Because I think a lot of times we're just uncomfortable in the unknown, because we talk about first generation college students a lot, but their first generation business owner, it's hard. You don't have anybody to call and borrow 10, 15, 20, 30, $40,000 for seed capital. You don't have anyone to call about how do I structure HR for a small business. How do I do paper? You don't have a direct contact most times for that. So you got to figure it out. And it's not always easy, but it's not meant to be.
It ain't meant to be.
It's not meant to be. And the second part that's newer for me, but I am committing to talking more about this, is the money. As Black women, as Black people, we have, some of us, and maybe not everybody, but some of us have been conditioned, you don't talk about how much you make, you don't talk about money, you don't talk about numbers. That's more of a taboo topic. But if we don't talk about that, Black women will continue to build for other people, make them multi-million and billionaires, while they making $30,000 and $40,000, but they got $120, $140, $160, $180 in student loan debt. It makes no sense. We will go back and get 500 degrees and then take a job for $55,000.
Baby,
you can come on the other side and write a government contract to make you $55,000 for the month. So we have to continue talking about the numbers, or begin talking about the numbers. And I haven't always been comfortable with that, but shout out to Felicia Kelly, right? Shout out to Myleik Teal. Shout out to women who, shout out to Tanya Rapley. Shout out to women who are just openly on their large platforms talking about money and numbers and things like that. One of my really good friends, she's actually one of our sorority sisters, Raven Simon, she's a CPA, and she was the first person in my direct circle, if you would. I was like, girl, how you be making that? Like, what are you? And I just put my pride aside and asked.
Come on, pride.
Put the pride in the side and simply asked, and she, answer. And there was a, fee on the other side of getting direct help, but just to answer a question, there was no exchange of currency. I just simply asked my friend. But that's the thing, we leave our, and so I don't mind when I have my friends that are still killing it in their jobs. I don't mind telling them, sis, you may not need to leave. This may work for you, but the pandemic has taught us that they will get rid of you, right? They will get rid of you when it's time to downsize. So what do you need to be doing? Is it real estate investing? Is it churro? Is it stocks? Is it a side business that you just work in the summer because you love teaching the babies during the year? What is it? Do you bake cakes in the holidays and then after that you close it down? But what is it that is going to create another stream of income for you? So just in case they decide to say peace out or they switch up on you, you good. So we have to become more comfortable with those hard conversations. And then last one, that this is we got to work on our mental, because we'll be out here getting the degrees, getting the money, doing all that. Our mental health be tore up. We still be sad from what someone did to us at 9 years old. We got to go back and heal them baby Black girls so that we can be amazing Black women.
Look, I got to give you a round of applause for that one. That's for real, for real. That is for real, because you will be trying to level up and you will be thinking that you got to work so hard and toil and do all of this other stuff. And it'd be right up here.
Yeah.
It'd be right up here. It's just opening your mind to the possibility, just like you said, you know, instead of $50,000 a year, you're making $50,000 a month. But to think like that, so that will push somebody back into a corner. Like, wait a minute, is that even possible? Do people really do that? Can I really? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. And so, girl, you just, I gotta, hold on. Let me marinate a little bit while we read these comments. Let me tell you something. Friends. Oh, yes. Heal those Black girls so we can be those amazing Black women. That was a good one. Can we get that on a t-shirt, a mug, or something?
That's my quote. I'm posting that after we get done. Better. That's the word. Look, I mean, that's really
look, PM on there, like you trademarked it. We ain't gonna tell nobody you didn't. All right. Do it after we get off. Yeah. No. That was a good one though. I promise you. I've been on this wave and I've been talking to people. I literally was just talking to a friend in Soror yesterday about going back and healing those child wounds, and allowing ourselves, because so many times as Black women, we are aged faster than we really are.
Girl,
I have a niece that is my height and she wears my size shoe, but she's 10. So people look at her like she's a grown woman. And I have to keep telling them, this is a 10-year-old. Stop talking to her like she don't understand what you think you know what I'm saying? Like, and I know I can see it in her face that it's like she's in this body and trying to navigate. And for whatever reason, you know, I'm trying to keep her a kid and keep her, you know, go and play. And people like, ain't she too big for that? No, she not. She's 10. She can color. She can write sidewalk, you know. But when you steal that from us, when you steal our innocence from us and our childhood from us and all of that, then we get to being adults and we're operating. I heard somebody tell me that you stunt your growth at the age that you experience trauma. Yes, so Lord. If you were 13 years old and you were molested or whatever, you're a 39-year-old woman with a 13-year-old mentality, because you're still there. You still are stuck there.
Yeah.
And so, don't go off posting her quote, because I'm gonna find you on that. I'm gonna say you didn't say that. Tab said that. But we have to take a hold of ourselves, and that is a part of unleashing our power, is unleashing our voice, unleashing our minds, letting go and shedding that stuff that's back there trying to continue to rise up. Every time you take 2 steps forward, it's right there breathing on your neck. Yeah. You know, that stuff happens. And in order to get to the next level as women and as women entrepreneurs, we have to sometimes take stock of that and deal with it. Like, for real, deal with it. Like, stare it in the face. Okay, look. You've been chasing me down all these years. What you want? Let's square up. Let's settle this right now, because I can't take you to the next place. And it's just as simple as that. So, man, that's good, Tab. For real.
That's a full circle moment too of why, you know, you asked earlier how some of the ways I feel like we're showing up with this confidence. And I think that just taking care of ourselves and mental health, like, people are talking about it more, so people are chiming into it, and so it's helping us to not bottle up that trauma for as long as other generations. Therefore, we're able to unleash the power within, because we're not keeping in the trauma within. So I think that that's an additive, especially for Black women, that I'm so happy to see happening. So happy.
Yeah, that's good. That's so good. Woo, Tabitha, girl. So you know you got to come back, okay?
I come back, sis. I love it.
You got to come. Look, you might have to come on and be my co-host or something, girl. This conversation was just too good for me. Like, I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, dang, I got so much more I want to say, but it's time for me to wrap it up. So before we go, tell the people what you do and how they can find you if they need you.
Yes, if you need me, I'm backwards, but if you need me, www.tabithadjames.com. You can find all the things. Type me in Google Tabitha D James, and I'm sure all the things are going to come up. In this season, I am working directly with strategies in your business, and I am happy to be working with a lot of Black women, right? Strategy in your business. What is it that you need to do to get to where it is you want to go? We talked about, those $55,000 months or contracts or larger deals, the sustainability of business, what you need to be doing on social. We kind of thrown some of that around. That doesn't just come together in your head as soon as you say you want to be an entrepreneur. So hire me, right? Come to me. Let's have a conversation. And there are times, many of times, where I probably am not the person who needs to either coach you, consult with you, or be with you. But what I can help you do is to bypass some of them scammers, right? Bypass some of those e-courses that maybe look really good on the outside but don't have a lot of content. What I've learned that a lot of times people can make things look really pretty, but sugar and salt look similar. So you can consult with me to learn more about your industry and some of the key players in your industry that you may have to grow with, right? You may have to listen to some of their free content before you can make an investment. But it's my hope to always send Black women to the powerhouses that can really convert once they make that investment. So that's what I'm doing in this season. That's what I love to do because it really does help. And I get to see that transformation in my clients.
I love it. I love it. Tabitha, I just want to bless you today and just tell you that the sky is not the limit for you. Mm-hmm. I don't even know. Like, y'all see her here today, but this girl is going somewhere. So if y'all are watching this and y'all know y'all need her help, y'all better grab her. Look, snatch her coattail now, because in a minute she might be like, on Tony Robbins level. Like, look, you gotta invest $100,000 to talk to me for an hour. Like, yeah. We don't know where this girl is going, but she's bad. Y'all have heard her talk today. We have talked about unleashing the power within, and I have had such a glorious time in this past hour talking to you. Thanks. I have had too much fun, and thank you for bringing your friends along. Hey, friends, come on back. We love to talk. So we will be back next week. Y'all know every Monday at 6 p.m. Central, we come back and we have another woman entrepreneur on here, and we get on here and we, sip a little tea, spill a little tea, all that other good stuff. And I would love to have y'all back as my guests. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the bell so that you get the notifications when we go live and all that good stuff. Look Tabitha up, and if you need any help growing your media visibility, I'm spilling the tea a little bit here. I ain't gonna tell it all, but come chat with me, because I'm doing some new things, and I'm making sure that y'all get the shine that you deserve to get. Because we really are unleashing the power within in this season. So until next time, y'all be blessed. Y'all stay successful, and we'll see y'all next Monday.